believe this. What you smell is the workshop going up in flames. Our books, our chemicals, our machines. Many of those inventions were originals from the Valian republics. One of a kind, irreplaceable.
Your work was your home. You're allowed to mourn it.
They burn. They blind us.
I hope everyone is all right. Animancers know how to plan for an emergency. We've never seen one like this. If anything happened to Kolichi, I don't know what I'd do.
Let's get to the falls. If there's trouble, we can help.
Let's finish this.
Here we go! Coming from your right! That's it for me. Back in the fight.
Gather round.
On your right!
There's the city. What's left of it. Gods, who could do this to us? Who could burn us out like rats and call it a victory?
So many years
Fuckers. I don't know how we recover.
In the blink
Our
of an
past
eye.
is in those flames.
Mourn
Our
with-
history.
Join the others at the old
Everything we
farms.
are.
We can protect.
Not as long.
Same goes for you, Envoy. Vidaro wants to speak. The old farms are to the north.
Turn back.
After them!
Right there!
Right flank!
Enemy to the right! Come on! Nicely done! Your days are sold for the wheel.
Coming from your right! You've got better aim than a sharpshooter, Giada.
He died saving me. I owe him my life. May he pass swiftly into the beyond.
Look, they made it out. Oh, thank the gods. Thank the gods. I needed that. I needed to see them so badly. It felt like I couldn't breathe.
Take a few more deep breaths. We're not going anywhere.
Rabbits in a burrow. Hunted.
These people are looking for leadership, a sense of direction. We should find Quilici.
All shipments have been paused, but traders are working to resume them as soon as possible.
Envoy? Oh, thank goodness. For a moment there, I thought we'd lost you in the attack.
As if you don't already know.
Ignacy, calm yourself.
Why should I be calm? His people burned my city.
The Steel Garrote are hardly his people.
They offered us no negotiation, no peaceful terms. Just flames and laughter as we ran. Don't be naive. Anyone who serves under an Aedyran banner is complicit. Your Inquisitor is determined to burn out anyone who doesn't conform to Aedyran ways.
We agree on one thing. The Steel Garrote have declared war on the Living Lands.
That sort of thinking is precisely why my father fled the Valian republics.
What happened here is no coincidence. Their forces already have an unshakable grip on Paradis. This attack was meant to weaken us. No doubt they will circle back to finish what they started. Tell us, what of your research into the Dream Scourge? Assuming our governor wants to hear it.
I may have spoken in haste before.
Pardon?
The very notion that the Dream Scourge had blighted our farms, it was too awful to acknowledge.
Are you being serious right now?
I am. The sanctuary my family built was falling apart on my watch, and I wasn't strong enough to bear it. Not for me, perhaps. You must understand. My mother had the Dream Scourge. I hoped against reason that she might recover, but her mind grew as blighted as our lands. To face reality would mean upending my city, throwing order into chaos, and admitting she was truly gone. I'm so sorry, Giada.
Don't waste your apologies on me. This changes nothing between us.
I don't expect your forgiveness, but I will do everything in my power to make this right. Whatever you have to say, I'm ready to hear it.
You want me to do the talking? Very well. The evidence is clear. The Living Lands is on the edge of an ecological disaster, both physically and spiritually. We may know the origin of the Dream Scourge. By following it back to the source, perhaps we can reverse the damage. Now for the bad news. An undiscovered god rests in the heart of this island. Until we know more about its nature, we are powerless to stop it.
But this is madness. When I said I was ready for the truth, I didn't mean... Quilici, tell him it's madness.
Envoy, is it true?
You truly think you can find a god? I said I'd keep an open mind, but this is a bit much.
First the Dream Scourge, then the Steel Garrote, and now, what does this god of yours want us to do? Pray?
This is no time for a theological discussion. Our survival hangs on a knife's edge. We can't remain in Emerald Stair.
There is no reason to stay, unless you count picking through the ashes. We should relocate to Thirdborn. It's the only settlement that can take us all.
No. I say we go to Paradise.
And I want an explanation.
As long as we are animancers, the Aedyrans will pursue us to the ends of the earth. Instead, we lay low, hide in plain sight, let them believe we're beaten, and bide our time.
While we hide, the Dream Scourge will tear this island apart. At least in Thirdborn, we can practice animancy freely. We can't gamble with our existence. The political climate of the Living Lands is too dangerous.
Thirdborn has its own problems. Paradise is more secure, but it would mean living under Aedyran rule. I don't like our options, but that shouldn't stop us from committing to one.
Thirdborn's full of hardy types. Lots of former soldiers and mercenaries. A rough bunch, but good to have at your back. It's also farther from the Steel Garrote's base of operations. That's where I'd make my stand.
It's unpredictable, and that's why it has a chance to succeed.
When did you grow a spine, Ignacy?
Who says I have? Take care in your travels, Giatta. May we meet again.
My days of subterfuge are behind me. Be the leader these people need, and they will follow you anywhere.
What of you, Envoy? Where does the hunt for the Dream Scourge take you next?
Oh, I do.
Yardsley? Don't tell me you are getting swept up in all of this.
Oh, really? You should know better, darling. Any talk of the Akita, and I will appear. If you're looking for the garden, I can probably lead the way. You're already aware that I'm the foremost Akitan scholar in the Living Lands, and...
Godless scholar, my dear. No one outside of academia uses their proper name.
Ah, right. Layman's terms. Thank you, darling. Well, to make a long story short, I think I can lead you to the garden. 30 years of research, and I think the answer lies in a ruin called Naku Kubel, which is in Shatterscarp. So we've got to get there now. Before Fjord went up in flames, that Garrote monster took my research. Your kin are on their way to the garden now. Wait. If they know as much as we do, they know to go to Shatterscarp too. Oh no. I've got to warn Temerity. Meet me in Thirdborn, all right? You can't miss it. It's the only bit of civilization in Shatterscarp, if you can call it that. I'll finish getting ready here and just meet you there.
Ugh, what a whirlwind. God, I love that tiny woman. Oh, a gentleman never tells. She's a feisty one. Almost makes me feel young again.
I am officially putting a stop to this line of questioning. Keep it in the bedroom. For what it's worth, I vouch for Yatsley. She's a good friend and a bad influence. Right now, we could use both.
There's a gate to the north, which will take you to Shatterscarp. It's guarded by some of our best rangers.
Then we should approach carefully. They'll be on their guard after this.
I'll make sure they grant you safe passage. May the gods protect you, envoy.
Exploring the living lands with a friend. What more could I ask for?
Back to Shatterscarp, then.
I can't believe it. My city. It's all gone.
I'm sorry.
We should talk. Fior Messiverno was the pride of 2 generations. And now, nothing but ashes and embers. My home, my lab, my parents. It feels as if I lost them all over again. What if I'm tired of being strong? I keep asking myself, how could I have missed this? How could I not have known an attack was coming? We were all so occupied with the Dream Scourge, we missed the enemy on our doorstep. No matter where Animancers go, someone is always trying to kill us. Nothing enrages the gods more than mortals in pursuit of knowledge. Don't worry. I plan to hold the mortals accountable. As many of them as it takes. Listen to me. A failed Animancer lashing out at everything in reach. Even with all the tools at my disposal. I couldn't stop the Dream Scourge. And I couldn't save my people. How do I live up to my family's example when I can't even help myself? I wish I could. But that legacy is a debt I can never pay off. My parents died pursuing a better future for Animancers. I can't let their sacrifice be for nothing. And right now, that's all it is. I have some pondering to do. Let me know if there's anything else. Sending my people to Paradise is a bold move. Bold, but more importantly, unpredictable. There's always a choice. It's just that sometimes they're all equally terrible. The Steel Garrote will keep a watchful eye on my people, but we will do the same to them, from inside the lion's den. Meanwhile, the Aedyrans will enjoy their false sense of security for however long it lasts. Look, I know you didn't come to this island to help us. And yet you were here when others would have looked away. Despite everything that happened, it means a lot. We all deserve better. But fate decided otherwise. Well, onward to better things. If you need anything, you know where to find me. What are you so curious about? Anyone in particular? I warn you, I'm not the best judge of first impressions. Kai is a useful fellow. We need people like him to keep you grounded. Just not too grounded. On the surface, Kai is all charm and confidence. You feel good knowing he's around. But there's something deeper. Something in his core that he guards from everyone. Maybe even himself. Anytime. Marius is working through something. An old wound that hasn't healed. A search for forgiveness? Who knows? He's a tough fellow, but I wouldn't put too much pressure on him. We're all wounded. That's the price of survival in the living lands. Just look at you. Only just got here and you died in the line of duty. You may not be from the living lands, but the island left you a scar to remember. Now, you're just like us. We haven't been together long, but I think I have you figured out. In Paradise, you have a reputation for being an unlawful misfit. This is the frontier, after all. We don't exactly do things by the book. You helped Fior Messiverno through an awful time. We did our best. No one will forget that. Of course, all I know is what you've done. You may not think these choices reflect who you are. At the end of the day, you shouldn't care what anyone thinks. All that matters is how you see yourself. I've spilled all the gossip I know. Ask me again when there's a new face in camp. Until next time.
Envoy, it's clear that no matter what happened, these people couldn't stay in Fior. You did the right thing. I think they're better off in Paradise than struggling out there in Shatterscarp. It'll be interesting to see how the Pargrunen in Paradise react to a bunch of Valians moving in. It's a very different place from Solace. More welcoming, but not much. You're right. They'll be safer, for sure. Right, changing the subject. Right. I'm sure you'll find it absolutely gripping. Go ahead. I'll tell you whatever you want to know. As you know, Kai and I have worked together in the past. It's a blessed miracle he never got me killed. Honestly, he's a good guy. A bit too quick to ask questions for my taste, but... Kai's good enough. Tell him I said that I'll cut a hole in your water skins. Fine. You've been patient enough, I suppose. Right. Solace isn't an easy place to live. The food is stale and meager. The water tastes like steel and old meat. Everyone knows everyone else. No privacy, no silence, no time to yourself. Solace is a walled keep in the harshest region of the lands. Isolated is an understatement. Honestly, all of that was fine. But there was a peculiar kind of silence I didn't love. Nimdut, I was being dramatic. I have only the faintest memories of my parents, which was fine. I had friends and mentors and trainers and elders. When I asked about my real parents, though, they just told me I was safe now, and that the wardens were my family. I never knew if my parents were alive or dead. I like to assume that they had died fighting some giant monster in the Tusks, but no one would say. When I asked for more, they changed the subject, like I wasn't worthy of a backstory. I mean, I know the important part. I'm from Solace, for whatever that's worth. My oldest memories are of Solace. My oldest friend is from there. Right. You asked.
Right. I'm sure you'll find... Go ahead. I'll tell you. Giada's a mystery to me. Animancers give me the vricus, and for good reason. Most of them would just as soon turn your soul into jewelry as look at you. Giada seems different. She's smart, thoughtful, and she's got a spine, too. You can tell when someone needs extra help out here, and she doesn't. So, yeah, I don't understand her, but I guess I don't have to, really.
Ask away. Right, changing the subject. Not before I've done some reading.
I'm going to...
Hey, about earlier. Sorry for going off like that. I haven't talked about Tom in a while. I haven't had much of a crew lately, and it's been easy to follow your lead. Seeing the choices you've made has put me at ease. Maybe a little too much. First time for everything, huh? My favorite subject. You've heard everything I have to say about our crew. Holler if you need anything else.
It's hard to imagine my people taking shelter in Paradise.
They'll be better off there. Safest place in the lands. Assuming they don't cause any trouble.
I hope you're right. At least there's safety in numbers.
Envoy?
Gods, I can't believe what's happening around here. Fior has been destroyed. Just like that. Teeth, fingers, toes, arms, that freaky blessed mask she's always wearing. All of it. I'm sure we'll all get our chance soon enough.
Right, changing the subject. If I must.